Welcome to The Process, a place where artists can discuss ideas, creativity, the industry, and of course the music that drives us. We are the Beamish Brothers. My name is Ben.
And I'm Jeremy, and we're an Australian duo. We write songs, play shows, and always love a good chat with the talented people we come across on our journey.
Hello and welcome to The Process. We're Ben and Jeremy Beamish, aka the Beamish Brothers, and today we are joined by the Brisbane-based art pop queen of hearts herself.
She is open for the likes of Ballpark Music, Bishop Briggs, Ocean Alley, and Paul Kelly, and has graced the stages of Big Sound, Blues Fest, and Woodford, to name a few. She's taken home several prestigious awards. The list really does go on, I know because I've read her bio. We're so excited to have you on our little show. Sahara Beck, how are you going?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're pretty good, pretty chill, very hyped on caffeine.
Yeah, pretty cozy.
Very nice.
So for you guys listening, Sahara and I met at a songwriting retreat a couple years ago and have sort of just been following each other's journey ever since. And it's been really awesome.
Was that a couple of years ago?
Almost, like a year and a half, I think.
That's insane.
I know, because it was like September and now it's March. So, yeah. It's been a crazy ride, but you've released some really, really cool songs since then. So it's been really fun to watch that.
Yeah, I was just listening to the EP, by the way, which is incredible. I know Jeremy's been chatting with you, ever since the songwriting session, but it was really awesome for me to get to kind of really dive into your catalogue and just get lost in it. I love it. I'm a fan. Guilty as charged.
Thank you. I'm a fan of you guys. I can't remember if I was like pretty drunk when I met you, Ben. But
yeah.
Maybe the fact that I couldn't remember means that I probably was.
Yeah, we definitely.
But I'm definitely not drunk this time.
No,
so.
we definitely
judgment.
were a bit tipsy. I think our manager. Look, we were all just having a good time.
Throwing Nicole under the bus there.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, look, let's get on with the interview.
So I guess first question, we just wanted to ask you, what does a typical day look like for you these days? Like, do you do a lot of writing? Are you a hustler? Do you do meetings? Are you kind of always like planning the next steps? Or are you someone who just likes to take some time off, do their cooking, What does life look like?
I'm definitely not good at cooking. Like sometimes I'll cook, but no one really wants to eat it. Never really looks that good. But yeah, I think like every day, pretty much what I do is I just get up and have my breakfast and my coffee, and then I've got this little space set up in the garage downstairs, and I just come down here and I like write and practice. I've got my keyboard and my guitars, and yeah. So just at the moment though, with the coronavirus thing, I'm trying to send people out covers that they have requested from me. So I'm spending time doing that down here at the moment.
That's a good idea.
I'm not practicing because I don't have anything to practice for at the moment because the gigs are getting cancelled.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, I mean, I just saw on your Instagram that you've made a couple posts about that. The most recent of which was about, sending out kind of covers and, custom songs or whatever, little songs to fans and friends and things like that, which I thought was a really unique idea.
Yeah, super good. I think that schedule definitely sounds a lot like ours. Like I have a similar sort of setup where I'll just like wake up, have my brekkie, coffee, and have a little garage studio, and kind of just write all my stuff there. But yeah, as you said, COVID-19 has kind of changed a lot of plans for everyone, and just to inform you guys listening, we're recording this in March at the moment, so we don't know how things will be when this podcast is out.
Yeah, we hope to release the podcast in a few weeks. By the time you're listening, we could all be living underground in our completely different society, but
but for now we're just kind of
cruising,
staying at home, cancelling gigs, unfortunately. Yeah.
So have you obviously then seen, I guess, quite a lot of your gigs have been cancelled. Would that be a fair statement?
Well, it's just like mainly I haven't had many original gigs planned for the moment because I'm about to start recording the album and stuff, but mainly just like the money gigs that I usually need for rent and stuff, like my cover gigs. Yeah. They kind of just like, because no one's turning up to venues because everyone's scared of getting sick. Yeah, so then the venues say, oh, well, we're not going to make any money, so we can't afford to have musicians on that night. So then they say, oh, just forget about it, like we have to cancel those shows. And it's like, well, shit, okay.
Oh, I know.
I'll just
It's
stay
exactly
home
the
and
same for us.
die, I guess. What?
Yeah, it's so real. Like, yeah, I pay all my rent and bills with like gigs, so it's super weird now to think like. I mean, I'm pretty sure the government is instating a 100 person gathering max just today. So like that instantly rules out some of my gigs, and then like
I mean, in America, it's
because I have like millions of people that come to my gigs.
I know.
In America, they've already kind of banned groups of over 10.
Yeah, so and we're probably just like a couple weeks behind.
So you know,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not ridiculous, but it's just crazy.
Well,
I can't believe this is happening.
It is definitely crazy times. I mean, where I feel like event industries are obviously being hit the hardest. Tours, festivals, all of that.
I feel bad for people who have I don't know, like who did I see just pulled out Kingswood, I think, or someone like people who have just spent all this time on the album, and Jeremy Neal too, you know, all this time on the album, and then it's like, cool, all right, everything's set up, ready to go, and then it just gets cancelled, and who knows when some people might not be able to afford to give it a second go on the same bunch of songs, you know, and it takes a while to recoup the money to be able to record the next group of songs. So I don't know, it's just throwing everyone's schedule off whack.
Yeah, exactly. Like for us, we just like it's just so crazy to think about it now. But like a few weeks ago, we were literally planning and about to book flights for Japan and South Korea. And obviously those places are completely out. Like we can't go now. And then, like, even we were thinking, like, okay, well, Asia might be off the cards, but, like, it was ironic because, like,
United States.
A month ago, this was going to be our year of touring. Like, it was going to be, like, you know, let's blow all of our money, let's go to Asia, let's go to Europe, let's go to the US. Like, literally, we were going to do all three this year. And now it's like, oh, all right, well, I guess we'll just do something else.
Yeah.
It's just been crazy.
That's all right. But, you know, on the bright side, with covers gigs drying up, we don't need to eat. I mean, we'll get a little bit skinnier.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, musicians don't need to eat live in a house where they have to pay rent.
No, totally. It's just more fuel for the creative, you know, inspiration process.
Yeah, starving artist is about to become very literal.
Let us starve.
Anyway,
let us write better music.
Let's move away from the bleakness for now and talk about how, you know, with everything happening, this might kind of affect your creative process. So do you have, like, can you maybe in broad terms talk us through what that creative process looks like for you and has looked like for you previously?
It's always kind of different. Like, I find it kind of difficult to answer that question sometimes because I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes I'll come down to the garage and be like, all right, I've got this song that I did yesterday, I need to finish this part and this part on it. But I don't really know. Like, I think I just kind of, for me, music is just, I don't know, it's just the only thing that I ever really want to do. And so, like, I kind of just sit there and we'll play something until it becomes something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like in the process of tuning out tuning out my mind while I'm playing that. I don't know, somehow that makes a song.
Yeah, totally. Like, so do you sometimes write specifically with like an EP or album in mind or single, or are you someone who kind of just like goes about writing constantly and eventually just chooses your faves and kind of puts them out?
Yeah, like I'll just write anything because I don't know, I feel like I've spent a lot of time in the past kind of going, oh, I need to be writing for this EP or this album, and the song that I'm making at the moment is totally the wrong genre and whatever, and then you try to spend all this time changing it to be something else when it wasn't ever meant to be that other thing. So I think, you know, letting stuff come out the way that it comes out, and then if it doesn't work with what you're doing right now, just saving it, and then maybe the next thing, or maybe in 5 years you'll be like, oh my god, finally I found a spot for this song.
Yeah.
But I think, like changing stuff, like, and that's my personal opinion, but for me, not that I'm super famous or anything. Don't really have the answers, but that's how I do it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely understand that. Like, we've definitely written some songs which, I don't know, like, you don't want to mess with what made it good, you know? Like, even if it doesn't necessarily, like, fit exactly what you want to do for this album or EP or artist project, it's kind of like, we have so many songs where we're like, you know, oh damn, like that's such a good song. Maybe we'll find use for it in its original state somewhere down the line, whether that's with another artist or like just when we're trying something new.
Someone else might want it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've definitely had songs like even the one that you and I wrote, Sahara. Like I've definitely actually like thought about how I can, I suppose, recontextualize that and like make it something that, you know, Ben and I would release, or like, you know, something that, you know, is a bit more this, bit more that. Maybe I can take it in this direction. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, it just sounds good the way it is. So I'd rather
It's such a sick song, yeah. And like maybe it'll. I'd love for you to release that song. I want everyone to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe.
we'll send it to the manager.
See how bored we get with the COVID.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So now talking about your EP, Queen of Hearts, it's amazing, by the way. Congratulations. So when you were writing that, I know we kind of just touched on this a moment ago, but did you kind of write that intentionally? Did you set out to write an EP, or did you just kind of accidentally stockpile a bunch of songs and go, all right, this will do, like, or was it a very deliberate process?
With Queen of Hearts, it was kind of like, I don't know, I think before that, I had kind of just spent all of my time just like not all my time, but whenever I would write something, it was like what I was describing earlier, like it would kind of just come out however, and I wouldn't really, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't try to put a label on it, and I kind of felt like, you know, why should I have to explain, like make myself obvious to everyone and like put myself in a genre or whatever. But I think with Queen of Hearts, I don't know if that makes any sense, but with Queen of Hearts, I sort of like got to this point where I was like, all right, all the music that I'm making, like I really like making it and I enjoy performing it, but it's not the type of music that I would listen to be honest. And I guess like I was sort of getting bored of being compared to these people that I just thought I was just nothing like. And I realized because I was making this music, I was being compared to these certain people, and I never thought about it like that. In my head, I was thinking about what I could do. And so I thought, for this next thing, I'm going to make an art pop album. And yeah, so I was like inspired by like Santa Gold and Saint Vincent.
Nice.
Yeah, and like a bunch of people, and I just thought like I'm gonna give this a go, and I'm gonna try to do it as well as I can, and really get that sound and get the look for it, so that it's not difficult for anyone to understand for once. Because, you know, before that I was playing gypsy jazz and folk and lots of different genres, and it was a bit confusing for everyone. But in saying that, like I don't know what the next album's gonna sound like. I mean, I sort of do now, but you know, like the future of my music, I don't know what the next thing and the next thing after that will sound like. I think it's important to keep the styles flowing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, like, listening to it, it does sound like a really cohesive EP. Like, it definitely does feel like it is one artist, like, one kind of genre, but, like, still
all the songs blend together.
Yeah, the songs blend together, but still have enough diversity to keep it interesting, so it doesn't feel like...
Yeah, and it was also sort of the first album where I had my first, like an actual, I had producers on the other albums, but this was the first time where I wasn't kind of co-producing with that person, and I kind of just gave the producer role to Tony Buchan in LA, and yeah, he's done stuff like The Preachers and Montaigne and stuff, so I really wanted the whole thing to have that really big kick in it, and like really strong, empowering feeling, and yeah, I think that comes down to production sometimes.
Yeah, and you're totally right. It definitely does. And I mean, my favorite song on the EP is the popular opinion, it would seem anyway, Here We Go Again. I love it. And I mean, that's obviously your most streamed song at the moment. Because of that song, you won 3rd place in the Vanda Young songwriting competition. So, which is obviously insane, and that's awesome. So were you kind of surprised? I know, right? So were you surprised by that response? Can you kind of talk about how that whole thing unfolded for you?
That was actually pretty funny. I was looking after my bass player's house, and I was there with my brother, and we'd been like, he'd been gone for like a couple of days or something, I think, and we'd just gone outside and smoked a doobie, and then I got this phone call from this random Sydney number. And like, sorry, backtracking a bit, I got all of these phone calls for the week before that from this spam number who kept saying like, oh, you've been in a car accident, like, you know, you owe someone money, and I was starting to get really annoyed about it. So I thought it was the Sydney, like the same number, and then I pick up the phone and I'm like, hello, and they're like, oh hi, this is I can't remember his name right now, but and he's like, oh, I'm the, and he was explaining how he's got to do with that competition and stuff. Oh no, first he said, am I speaking with Sahara? And I was like, yes. Who am I speaking with? I'm just representing that competition and da da da. And he's like, I just wanted to call you to tell you that that you've got third place and we're going to announce it in a couple of weeks. And I was like,
oh shit.
Okay.
I promise I'm not
so
usually
sorry,
this
I thought you were a
aggressive.
telemarketer.
Amazing.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, we've literally got a million embarrassing stories to rival that one.
Yeah, but I hope they weren't too like put off.
Yeah, well, clearly not.
No, I'm glad that they didn't like hear your aggressive tone and just be like, well, maybe not then.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll give it to someone else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Clearly you don't want it.
Yeah, this is
I
wrong
felt
number.
so bad.
Amazing.
Yeah, give me a story to top it.
Oh,
Far
well,
out.
we actually were going to do a little section today. Yeah, cool. That's not always perfect.
Do you want to just skip to that?
Yeah,
and
let's
then come
do
back?
it. Okay. Well, what's our story?
All right. What about the music video one? That's a pretty funny one.
Yeah. Okay.
Kills me every time. Okay, so we have a music video for our single that came out last year, our first single of the year. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was our first single leading up to the EP, and we did a music video with a director called Charlotte Montgomery, who was incredible, and it looks amazing. We were really happy with it, but in it there's these we have a whole kind of cast of extras, and they're running around with these kind of helmet looking things, like protective helmets on their heads.
Yeah.
And you can jump in from here. Jeremy.
And basically, like, it looks really good, and we've like, I don't know, we were super happy with how it looked, and like afterward filmed it, we realized as like all these guys were taking off their helmets, that they were actually like bras, basically, like these old like manky bras that someone had like bought and like refashioned to wrap around their heads, and these poor extras who were doing it for free were just like had to wear bras on their head. So
it was amazing. I mean, like, but it's the funniest thing because like you'd never really. I mean, not that many people. Like basically no one has brought it up, and you'd never tell from looking at the video. But it was just the funniest thing. Like we felt so weird, just kind of because that was totally. I'm gonna just throw Charlotte under the bus here. Like that was her call. I was like, when she was like, by the way, the extras are gonna be wearing bras on their heads. I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't have any money to give you anything.
Yeah. And like those poor guys had to suffer through so much. The last shot was like we were standing up and they were lying down as these buckets of like this green water was like poured over them in this like warehouse while they were lying down.
Geez, what kind of video is this?
I know. We had a great time.
Any subscription to the website where I can see that video?
Just go to our YouTube channel.
The Beamish Brothers.
Just YouTube.
Yeah. Just send those extras some love. They've gone through a lot for us.
Totally. Yes. In fact, we should actually get back to them and be like, guys, thank you so much again. Because, I mean, no, awesome. It was a really fun video actually.
Yes. So I'm gonna just jump in with a new kind of question. And basically, as I'm sure you know, there's like a staggering amount of things to do as an artist outside of the music process, like album art, social media, touring, PR, selling merch,
music videos,
you know, websites. It's like the list is really endless. How involved in those things do you try to be, and do you actually enjoy them, or do you kind of just like to focus on the music?
No, I really hate all that stuff. Like I hate posting photos of myself on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. I don't hate it. I just feel like
it's like a chore.
I don't know. I just feel like I feel like it looks like I'm advertising myself when sometimes I just want to say something silly or like, I don't know. I just don't like when I'm following other people and they're constantly going like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And you're like, all right, I looked at it.
Yeah, true. I get it.
I get it. You play music. No, but I used to be really involved in it. I still am like really involved in it. I've got this really amazing manager at the moment. For the last, I don't know, probably like 2 years or something. And she's been really good with planning out my social media strategy because, like I said before, like I just honestly spend so much time down at my keyboard and not talking to people that I just kind of don't think about posting. And then sometimes she'll be like, oh, hey, you know, like remember like you're playing music like two people, so like maybe remind them that you're still alive or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I can't really remember what the question was. I just totally ranted for ages.
Just how kind of involved are you in all of those other processes? And
I think because so many people who just like consume music probably have an idea that, you know, all musicians really have to do is write and then tour. But I think for so many people, it's like, you know, we're kind of also CEOs
like there's the
of
whole
our own
process
business.
of like, even if you're touring, you have to go like book everyone's flights.
Yeah.
And like, and write out the whole, what's it called? What's the,
like the set
oh my
list
god,
or
I'm so bad with words today. The bloody planning thing.
oh right, yeah,
like the
yeah.
itinerary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got garage brain.
No.
Yeah, and you know, and even just like, I think one of the things that I find not frustrating but difficult sometimes is just finding like finding really amazing musicians who don't have heaps of commitments, you know, musicians that I can take on the road with me and who are keen and excited and available, I guess.
Is this for your band?
And then, you know, as soon as other people see them, then they, you know, that's kind of like the nature of it, that people steal each other's musicians, like not in a bad way, in a friendly way, of course. It's like good, and you're like, oh, good, go make more money somewhere else. Like, I'm proud of you. But then you have to find someone new, and but you know, it's not too bad. But yeah, I think also like the keeping up the website and.
Yeah, for sure. There's like a ton of things like admin tasks and things like that that we always let fall by the wayside.
Oh my god, like the biggest one for us is like just trying to like just merch. Honestly, has been.
Forget.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just like. It's like when you think that you're on top of things and then you realize like, oh, no, we have to have our online digital clothing line. You know, it's like, I'm not prepared. I'm not qualified.
Yeah. We're actually not artists, but we also run a label, like a fashion clothing line as well. So
it's insane. And we don't do a great job, but like we try. The clothes are good quality.
Yeah, as long as the people get the product, that's the main concern. No, I think
I'm really lucky with that because my mum has this shop on the Sunshine Coast, and
that's great
because I don't have any space here to keep my merch really in my house, but so I kind of leave it with her, and then she's got across from her shop like 10 meters away there's this post office, so she'll like drop off the merch to there every now and then for people.
That's
so nice.
That's really nice. Oh man, I love that. Yeah, we don't have such a system, but that'd be great. We're lucky in other ways. Where we have a dad who can like help us mix and master, so that's been lovely.
What? That's insane. That would save you so much money.
No, totally.
It's also stressful though, because it's kind of like, the sole responsibility of this final product is in our hands.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a point which is, it's really nice now because we do save a lot of money because we're able to like self-produce, and also I've kind of been mixing and mastering now for quite a while as well, so you know, a lot of the knowledge has kind of been passed down because you know, we've obviously been just working from home in our little home studio in inverted commas for the last 5 years or so, but yeah, that is obviously a huge help, and I think it's
that's the best way to learn as well, just sitting there by yourself and kind of watching videos and having to get through those technical issues.
Yeah, and I mean, having like a little home studio now of all times is going to be quite useful.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you guys have the whole recording system figured out. I only just started on Logic Pro, and before that I was doing GarageBand. They're pretty much the same, but
yeah. I mean, that's the one that what am I trying to say? The program that we use. And I mean, we've always used that one. It's funny, like I saw just touching back on the whole current world event situation now and being a hermit in the home studio. I saw this meme which was like, it was like scientists say, you know, self-isolate, stay inside, be a hermit, avoid socialization, and then it's like producers, we've been training our whole lives. Like, oh my gosh.
Finally, our time has come.
Exactly. Hey everyone,
guys.
this is Ben and Jeremy here from the editing room.
And we just wanted to jump in right now to say that we hope you're all doing okay. We know it's obviously a bit of a difficult time right now for live music and all industries really, just with the current coronavirus crisis. But we just wanted to wish you well, hope you're all staying inside, staying healthy, and if anyone needs to talk to us at any stage, then feel free to drop us a message. We're always here and think it's more important now than ever to support live music and artists during this difficult time.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be inside a lot, writing, doing all kinds of music things, but also just doing as many podcasts as we can. Hopefully we can actually increase our output and get more to you. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a review, go follow us. We don't really know the podcast lingo, but yeah, do all that fun stuff and enjoy the rest of the podcast. Well, I guess another question is what do you do outside of music? Are you someone who loves to kind of just be surrounded by music 24/7 because you love it and you're happy to just live in the garage studio, or do you have other things that you like to do to kind of just escape it and forget that you are a singer-songwriter for a while?
I think that I kind of what I pretty much do most days is I'll play until, I don't know, my brain kind of does get to a point where it's no more music. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, totally.
And you're no, we got to get this done, and you just can't handle it anymore. It's like someone screaming into my ear.
Yeah.
But and then I don't know. I guess I've been walking dogs for money recently.
Nice.
I kind of just chilling out and I don't know, going for a walk or watching TV. I love a good TV show.
Nice. Do you have any favorites at the moment?
I finished Atypical last night.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that good?
I love it so much.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we just watched, what was that one you were talking
I'm
about?
Not Okay With This?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh
I
my
liked
god, I saw that too. That's so good.
Yeah, right.
It was sweet.
Yeah, for me, I find I'm really into, podcasts actually. So I do a lot of driving. So I'm always binging these self-motivation work from home podcasts and all of these kind of how to be the next big thing in the music industry podcasts.
Yeah.
But then also it's either that or I completely overdose on that and I do a lot of true crime stuff as well. So ironically if I need to escape the music industry, I'm I'll just listen to podcasts about murder.
Just love...
yeah, we did it at my house. Yeah. Well, not podcasts though, just all these TV shows that they've got on Netflix at the moment about murderers and Confessions of a Murderer and I don't know. There's all sorts of things about murderers now. I think we kind of watched our way all around that. So
yeah. you can watch too much of that.
You're could I be a psychopath killer?
100%. All right, should we do the quick fire round now?
Yeah, totally.
All right, so we're gonna do the quick fire round, which is basically we ask a question, you try and answer it as quickly as you can. So we're just going to jump right into it, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. So first of all, and this is something we ask everyone, but are you a morning or night person? What's your favorite?
Night.
Yes.
That's basically saying Team Ben.
Yeah. Amazing.
All right, caffeine or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Yeah. See, my thing is why not both?
Why?
Irish coffees exist for a reason.
I didn't know I could say that. I was thinking that before you asked it. When you told me about it the other day, I was well, both come in handy at different times of the day.
Exactly. I guess it depends if you're a morning or night person.
Totally.
Exactly, yeah. Night person and all you want is coffee.
Yeah, exactly. All right, do you have any pets?
No.
Okay, but you walk dogs, so you get your dog intake.
Yeah, I used to cuddle dogs, and I used to have a pet rat. I would love to have a pet rat again.
That's cute.
So
I think.
Yeah, no, I like rats.
All right, city that you want to live in?
Brisbane.
Oh,
nice.
How nice, because you do live in Brisbane.
I do live in Brisbane. Okay. Actually, to be honest, I don't really care where I live.
Okay, but just continuing on from that question though, if you couldn't live in Brisbane, what city would you choose?
Maybe somewhere in Germany or something.
Oh,
nice,
I like
nice.
that.
I love it. Yeah, I think we're both... Jeremy's very into the Scandinavian cities, aren't you?
Mm.
Yeah.
I want to move to the Netherlands. That's my next thing.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Tokyo and Japan and everything like
You
that.
guys go there a lot, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we've been there as a group. We've been there once. I've been there a couple times personally, but yeah, we definitely plan to go back as soon as this whole world craziness situation cools down a bit.
And speaking of which, where's a place that you really want to tour to?
I would love to tour around Europe.
Yes, that'd be so fun.
Europe is great. If only.
Every time I've spoken to like the Cat Empire guys, because they tour all the time, and they're always saying how European audiences are just like the most excited about seeing live music, and they're just so respectful of music, I guess. You know, they're not yelling out like, oh, fucking play Carl Chisel.
Yeah.
I know. We found that when we were in Spain, didn't we? Like the Spanish audience are just lovely. They're just such a beautiful culture, and music is so interwoven with that culture as well. So, you know, shout out to my boy COVID. He's completely ruined that.
Yeah. I thought that was a genuine person for a second, and I'm like, what an unfortunate name at this time.
You introduced me to COVID.
All right. Biggest shock about the music industry?
Like in like forever, like of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like most things are pretty shocking.
Yeah.
I guess like true. I don't know. I guess the most recent thing that I was shocked about was like I was like 100% on Michael Jackson's team, and then I watched that documentary and I was like, oh, maybe he is a pedophile.
That is a shock.
Pretty shit.
It just no, it totally sucks because the music is amazing. Like the music is great, but
can't excuse something.
No, of course. I mean, like it just there's so many like questions that brings up, like how do you separate, or is it even possible to separate the artist from the
exactly
art,
and then people say like, oh well, it's the music and the artist is a different thing, and it's like, well, I don't know, like for me personally, I can't now listen to that music and hear his voice because like without thinking of him doing that to kids, because like obviously when you hear someone singing, you picture them in your mind like dancing or whatever they're doing in their music video. So like I don't know, I just can't support it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And I mean, there's so many people like that. Like, but I guess like a while ago it was more okay. Like when Elvis was around, didn't he marry someone who was like 15 or 14 or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Sounds like something.
So who knows what he did with people who he didn't marry?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's definitely a lot of shady figures out there.
It's really gross.
Yeah, it is. It's gross.
It's like not a nice feeling when you like you kind of realize that people who you admired are like either even just if they're just dickheads, that's bad enough, but if they're also like abuse people, it's like, oh no.
But anyway, look, we digress. Final question. Do you have any artists sorry, let me rephrase that. Do you have advice for aspiring artists or people who look up to you?
I think my advice for people who would be starting out in music would be to just like I don't know, just be your main supporter, and because I don't know, I feel like a lot of the time, like most of the time you can't see people's reaction to your music unless you're looking at the internet, and then looking at the internet is kind of a scary thing because like you know, people can kind of pretty much say whatever they want because they're not afraid because you can't see their face, and so if you take in the good and the bad. If you take in the good, then you automatically take in the bad. So I feel like if you just kind of take it all, like, you know, you listen to what everyone says and you take note of it, but if the only thing that you care about is whether you like what you're doing, I think that's the best thing. And that way, whenever you start to feel like, because there's so many moments where you go, what am I doing? This is the stupidest decision I could have made with my life. Like, should have done something better that, you know, is easier or like has a quicker result or actually has like a high possibility of working out. And I think if you're constantly supporting yourself and backing yourself up and believing in yourself, then that's probably one of the best things you can do to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's so easy to just like second guess yourself.
Easy.
I think definitely like with us, like it's so easy like once you're just about to release a single to kind of go, you know what, this was a bad decision, like we should have released another one, or like or like, you know,
well, you think it's going to get a certain amount of plays in the first week and then it doesn't, and you're like, oh no, everyone hates it, oh, it's so stupid. I always get this feeling before I release something, like every single time, that I just think, everyone's gonna laugh at me, and I just think everyone's gonna think like, oh my god, like she thought this was good.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Like in a bad dream or something. I don't know.
That's actually mortifying. That's like every artist's worst nightmare. Yeah. I guess that ties in. Yeah, and that's so true what you've said. Like, you know, just seeking or not seeking validation in, you know, through others rather than just finding a place of just, you know, self-satisfaction and fulfillment. Like, you know what? I like this music. Like, it comes from a personal place, and you know, I'm doing this for, obviously the fans are going to get behind it regardless, but I'm happy with it, and that's kind of, you know, the most important
and in
thing.
the end of the day, the fans are the people who are supporting you. So the people who aren't supporting you, like, you're not writing for them. But, you know, again, that's easier said than done to remember that.
Yeah, I think, like, and we're all doing this, like, we're putting in so much time and effort into our artist project that we kind of, like, I think it's really easy to have, like, these massive expectations. But, like, we're really just doing the best that we can. Like, I mean, we can't, like, criticize ourselves too harshly. I mean, it's good to, like, learn from our mistakes, but also, you know, like, we're all kind of figuring this out, so we can't really...
Yeah, and that's the thing. There is no right way to make it in music.
Exactly.
And I think that, like, you know, another big thing that, like, I don't know, like, over the last few years, like, different housemates I've had and shit, like, when people get home from their 9-to-5 jobs and then they see you sitting on the couch or something, or, like, even if you just got onto the couch after playing all day, or if you've been playing guitar on the couch all day, or... whatever, like wherever they see you and they just see you as like, you know, oh, you've been home all day, you've been slacking off, like whatever you know, and kind of getting that feeling from people all the time. And I think that's where believing in yourself comes into it again, where it's like, well, you know that you haven't been slacking off all day, so you don't need to get the approval of other people who don't have the same job as you.
Oh my gosh, amen. I really have learned that so much, because, like, you know, I've been like self-employed for, well, we have been self-employed for a long time now, and like I have housemates and a partner, and like they all have regular jobs, and it's like really easy to compare yourself to that and go like, because they're working these hours, or they're doing this, or they, you know, they run their errands on these days, that it's like we should be doing that too, when we kind of know that what we do is different. Like it is not comparable to working a 9-to-5 or a casual job.
Totally.
And it's totally different hours, and it's depending on how your headspace is on that day, how long something will take. Like, you know, sometimes you can write a song in like half an hour, and then sometimes it'll take like
3
a
days,
month or something. And it's like, oh, like, and in those days where it takes like longer, there's times where it takes longer than a week or something, and then it's like, fuck, like it really feels like I've wasted all my time, but it's like, no, like this is just how much time the song needs me to stay with it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. My least favorite question people ask me is like, oh, so what did you do today? Because it's like, I mean, I wrote music, or like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I say that every day to my housemates, like, oh, yeah, nothing much, just, you know, just music, just the same thing as I did yesterday.
Yeah,
they're just like, they can't see like a physical change. There's no
100%.
physical change that you can show them unless you show them. People can't see the change until, or not the change, sorry, but the progress until you're showing them the final album, you know, which is like ages after you've been to another studio and done it with more people and spent more time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
and then it's like, well, what were you doing at home all that
such
time?
A detailed
like preparing for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is such a long process. I mean, and it's not just as easy as just, you know, writing a song and then bam, it's done. It's like there's all these different cogs in the wheel. Like, you know, obviously the production process and the mixing, the mastering, then, you know, promotion, release strategy, and blah 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 blah. So it's like,
but and it's like it's and there's even other like music industry stuff. Like sometimes like people say, oh, what do you do today? And I was like, oh, like I've sent emails and that's it. But it's like, yeah, but it's a lot of emails, and like it took a lot
I
of
get that
time.
all the time. And you might spend all day writing emails.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh, I haven't done anything else. And you're not going to sit there and be like, look at all these emails that I've sent.
Yeah. I think you touched on something super important there, is, you know, that they don't necessarily see or know the process. And I think that's exactly why we're doing this podcast. It's called The Process, and we just wanted to kind of open people's eyes or let them know like what we kind of do, like what the reality of this lifestyle and industry is.
Totally. And I mean, it is such a unique and different process for everyone as well. That's why we try to tackle all aspects, from obviously the songwriting itself to, you know, day-to-day life as an independent musician. And so, you know, that's kind of a large part of what we talk about. But usually we would do a segment, but we've already kind of done it, about you know, like embarrassing stories, or you know, for our segment it's not always perfect.
I can think about what else.
Go for it. Let's rattle off another one.
God, most things that I do, probably, you know, meeting you guys when I was really drunk. Well, I reckon the first time that I was on stage and I did something really embarrassing was, I mean, I guess it wasn't a music performance, but it was when I was in a musical in school. I was Liesl in The Sound of Music.
Oh, cute.
And I didn't have enough time to get changed in between the sets. And my blouse was like, you know, I had this like Dirndl on, which is like this dress. I think it's like Austrian and German.
Yeah.
And the buttons, I didn't have enough time to do up all the buttons. And I was wearing a bra by that stage, like only just, so like, you know, I wasn't completely naked or anything. But I just thought, oh my God, I have to, my line is in like 3 lines, and my dress is still undone, like my whole chest and torso is showing, like, oh God, what do I do? And I just thought, like, I just have to go on. Like, I can't not go. Also, it was also just a stage, dress rehearsal, sorry. But the whole school was watching.
Oh no.
Shit.
So, you know, it wasn't like a paid night yet, but it was just like the whole school's watching, and then I just like ran out on stage and I say my line, and then everyone's kind of giggling, and the science teacher like he points over and he's like, Sahara, come on.
Oh no.
I'm like, you know, you've got enough time. I'm like, no, I didn't have enough time. I had to go out. You told me I had to go out.
Oh, that's awful.
Go on, hey.
Absolutely, pretty bad.
Yeah, we'd have plenty of stories where we've gone on stage.
Unprepared. I had one where I actually it was a Toowoomba gig, and it was last year. And
wait, what? Which one?
It
was one of yours.
No, it was one of ours. And it was like just the weirdest gig, because it was
hang on, wait, just be careful, because we do live in Toowoomba, and we are...
No, our fault.
Oh, it was our fault.
Our fault.
Okay, that's all right then.
And we got on stage, and we were in the first song, and it was going fine, and it was like whatever. And then it got to the flute solo, because I play flute, and I didn't have the flute. So I literally, and I only realized as we got to the flute solo bit. So I just like looked at Ben, and I was like, oops, and like just shrugged, and I was like, not here, not happening.
Oh man.
And the track was still going, like we couldn't just skip it.
Gave him the biggest death stare, because there's this huge instrumental break where Jeremy is supposed to do this freaking flute solo,
and I just danced, and then just had to vamp.
I just vamped, and it was like,
you're gonna say that we're gonna start going like your mouse or something.
Amazing. Oh man.
But
yes, if looks could kill, man,
I would be dead.
Yeah, no, but that was, we got through it. I think we pulled it off. Maybe.
I mean, we'll just say that we did.
Yeah, let's just say that we
forgive ourselves, be kind to ourselves.
It still sounded wonderful, all the other parts.
Yeah. Well, we might wrap it up there. Sahara, thanks so much for joining us on The Process. We really enjoyed this little chat, and are so happy that you let us bombard you with all these questions.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me. Sorry for my garage brain.
No worries at all. We'd love to have you. Anytime you want to be on the podcast, just let us know. And of course, let us know when you have upcoming songs, announcements, whatever. We would love to put that out there in any way we can.
Aw, thanks guys. That's so nice.
No worries. All right, well, thank you so much again. We'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
See ya.